Hi Wingspan families. In today's Lego class, we're going to build a box of chocolates. So this is different from our normal projects because of the scale. Instead of building things that are the right size for Lego minifigures, we're going to build things that are the right size for actual people. We're going to build a box of chocolates that looks big enough for a person to eat a chocolate. As usual, the video is divided into sections. The first section is the box base. The second section is designing your chocolates. The third section is the box lid. And then there are two sections at the end showing you different ways to decorate your chocolate box. The best way to use this video is to watch a section and then work on building what you see in that section before you move on to the next section. For making our chocolate box, we're going to need two pieces that are 8 by 8 flats for the top and the bottom of the chocolate box. Now, if you don't have two pieces shaped like this, we're just going to make some. There's lots of different combinations that you can use to make it. Here's two 4 by 8s, put them side by side, a 6 by 8 and a 2 by 8, put them side by side. 6 by 8s are really useful for this. You can even then just add on smaller pieces. Now, so right there I've made another 4, but obviously these are not sticking together. So what I'm going to do with these ones is you layer them up. In order to make one proper top or bottom that's 8 by 8, you would need to make 4 of these put together ones, and then you overlap them with each other. Now, for example, here I can put this on top of this one, and they will hold each other together. And over here, I'm going to put this on top of this one. Now, one of the 8 by 8s that you make, you should try and make it have all the same color, or at least an attractive combination of colors on top. That one is going to be the top of your box. This one is going to be the bottom of my box, and for the bottom it doesn't matter so much how it looks because you won't see it. It's going to have things built on it. Now I'm going to put the top away to one side, and for the bottom of the box, first we're going to find, you need flats or grills, anything that doesn't have studs on, 1 by 2 pieces with no studs on top, that we're going to use to make the bottom of each cup that holds a chocolate, so that the chocolates can slide in and out of the box and not stick. So starting one stud in from the edge, one corner, and you're going to make a square for a 2 by 2 chocolate. And then coming over to the side from that, you leave a gap, which is where the partition in the box is going to be that keeps those two chocolates separate. And we're going to have a bigger chocolate over here that is 2 by 3. And then over here, we're going to have a 2 by 3 chocolate as well. And okay, and I've run out of grills, so I'm going to switch to tiles. Okay, so that's where the 2 by 3 chocolate is. And then over here in this corner, we're going to have a 3 by 3 chocolate. And the way to make a 3 by 3 shape using 1 by 2s is to go around the edge of the shape with the 1 by 2s and leave a hole in the middle. And if you want to, you could look for a 1 by 1 flat and put it into the middle of that, but you do not have to because you've already raised up the bottom and made it flat so that the chocolate won't stick. Now, once you've made this shape with the flats, you simply have to go around and fill in everywhere where there are still studs with a 1 brick high wall. I'm going to use all blue because I think it looks nicest when it's all the same color, but it really doesn't matter. You can use whatever bricks you have, and you'll find it can be a little bit fiddly. It's easy going around the edges, but then when you come into the inside, it can be tricky to find the right bricks to fill all the gaps. So you probably, if you collect a bunch of 1 by one stud wide bricks, and you're ready to do this. Start with the largest bricks and save the smallest bricks for the end when you're going to fill in those gaps. And there we go. That is the bottom of our chocolate box. Now, the next step, obviously, is to build some chocolates. And you can see our chocolates are going to match the shapes that we have in here. So we need a 2x2 chocolate, 2 2x3 chocolates, and 1 3x3 chocolate. Now, the first step in building chocolates is to spend a little while going through your bricks and picking out any small thing, anything that is small enough to fit into those dimensions, that is a chocolatey sort of a color. Like obviously you can use brown or dark brown. So it's nice to have some different shades of brown. You can use light tan or dark tan. They could be the, or you have these colors here. These are more like caramel colors. Or I like sometimes using the dark red. And even a little bit of black or white can look good. But once you go too far outside that into really bright colors, it won't look as much like a chocolate. So it's good to try and stick to these types of colors, and then you can always add a decoration on top of your chocolate in a brighter color. Now, the other rule about your chocolate is that your chocolate cannot be more than 2 bricks tall. So like if you stack one brick on top of another, that's your chocolate finished. You can't add anything on top. The simplest type of chocolate to build is where you simply take a brick that is the right shape for your chocolate, and then you find a way to decorate the top. I like doing a top that has a sort of a patchwork to it. Let's see what good pieces I have for this. I would like another flat piece here, but here we go. So this one is a mixture of flats and studs and slopey pieces. I think your chocolate looks best if you can manage to make the top so there are no visible studs. So I'm going to take off this stud piece. And maybe actually, there we go. I'm going to switch out 2 flat tan pieces. Now, so there's a chocolate that I'm happy with, and then it can go right into the chocolate box like that. So if you have flat pieces, then you can stack them, you know, to make your basic brick shape, but make it like a layered chocolate with something in the middle. And again, then I'm looking for interesting things to put on top. I could put one of these grills on. That looks like lines of icing. And then maybe a flat piece over here. And then I think for this one, I will have a little bit of decorative icing in one corner. There we go. So now that's a 2x3. So you can see how this goes. Everybody's chocolates will be different. I'm going to show you a couple of chocolates I made earlier. I like this where you use brown log bricks and it gives the side of your chocolate a texture. And then if you make the top totally flat like this, you have a choice. You can put the chocolate into the chocolate box this way around, or you can put it into the chocolate box sideways so that you can see the textured pieces really well. And then you see for my big 3x3 chocolate, 3x3 is a difficult shape because there are no 3x3 bricks or plates. So if you look at the bottom of my 3x3, you'll see that I used 3 1x3 plates side by side to make the base of it. And then as I went up, I just filled it out with whatever pieces I could find, kept it being that shape. And then on the top, I used slopes and flats and curves to make an interesting top. And so there you go. I have a full box of chocolates there. I just want to show a couple of tactics for making chocolates that I didn't show when I was filling my chocolate box. So here you have a nice big curved slope, and you just fill in the bite underneath and stick it on top of your brick, and there you have a chocolate. In this one, this is a boat stud, one of these 2x2. They're kind of an upside down piece, and the bottom of them is smooth. So you put them into the bottom of a 2x2 brick, and that makes a nice chocolate topping. And then maybe one of the most important, because you can use it in lots of places, is when you're putting flat pieces on top of your chocolate, you can also put on jumper pieces. That's a 1x2 with a stud in the middle instead of at the ends, and then stick something on the jumpers. So you can see here I put 2 jumpers next to each other and then the grill on top, and that makes for a nice layered top. But you could also have 1 jumper and then put a flat piece next to it, and then put your decoration on top of that jumper, and that also looks very pretty. Now that we have our filled chocolate box, we have to work on the lid. So here's my lid piece from before, and you see it's going to go on like this. We need to do a couple of things to make this work. The first thing we need to do is we need to put flat pieces around the edge here, so that when we put the lid on, it does not stick down. So again, I often like to do this with matching colors if I can find enough matching colors. Today, looking through the Lego I have with me, I couldn't. So I'm going to try and alternate the colors around the edge and make it as pretty as possible. I don't have many bright colors here, and I think I don't have quite enough flat tiles, so along one side I'm going to use grills. Okay, so I might try and change those out for a tile later on, go back and look for more tiles, but you can see this is, I'm going to take the chocolates out so you can see it more clearly. There is the chocolate box with the holes for the chocolates, and then we have a raised edge around the edges with no studs showing. Now, I'll put the chocolates back in and set the base to the side for the moment. Now, we go to the top, and we're going to need to put an edge of bricks around here. So, and it's got to be 1 stud wide the whole way around. And again, it's easiest if you start with the biggest brick and work your way down to the smallest bricks, so that you have small bricks that will fill your gaps in. Okay, so now I have the top with the edge, and I slide that on. And there we go. Now, if there were no chocolates in the box, this could sit on top, but it would slide off very easily. But with the chocolates in the box sticking up, they hold on to this, and it doesn't slide off. Now, remember what I said though, the chocolates cannot be more than 2 bricks high. If you try to put your lid on and you find that it won't sit flat and even the whole way around, that is probably because one of your chocolates is too tall, and you may need to go back and redesign it. Now that we've finished our box, the one thing left to do is decorate the lid. Collect as many little colourful pieces as you can to make a mosaic decoration. Here I've collected lots of red to make a heart, but you can make whatever picture you like. Now I'm using different colours to make some flowers. You can use as many or as few pieces as you want, and you can also use bigger pieces that have special shapes that give you an idea. The first decoration I made for my box lid was a heart. Now I'm going to show you a different way to make a stand-up heart that you could use on top of your box lid or as a completely separate ornament. So, for this heart, you're going to need 6 pieces shaped like this. It's a 2x2 piece on top, and you see it has 2 hollow studs and 2 solid ones. And that is because it slopes up underneath the 2 hollow studs. So you're going to need 6 of these. And, you know, they could be red, the classic heart color, but you can use any color you want. Or any color you have as well. And then you're going to need 4 pieces that look like this. So again, this is 2x2. It's square, but it only has 2 studs on top because it has a slope up to those studs. And if you stuck these 2 together, they would make this shape. We're not going to do that. I'm just showing you to give you a good idea of what pieces they are. So 6 of this piece and 4 of this piece. So let me just gather mine. That's 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4. And if you don't have quite enough of these, you can always use 2 1x2 versions of them side by side to make that exact same shape. So I'm going to do that as well. Okay, so that will give me 6, and I have 3 here, 4. Okay, so these are good for making my heart shape. Now you're also going to need regular bricks, mainly 2x4s and 2x2s. Although you could use a 2x6, something along these lines. Now, let's start with these two here, the upslopey bricks. This is the very bottom of your heart. Those go side by side, and then you're going to take a square 2x2 brick, stick it onto the solid studs on each of those, like this. Now you take your next 2 upslopey bricks and you stick them on either side. Now this time we're going to need either a 2x4 brick or 2 2x2 bricks side by side to fill in the middle. And then here we're going out with another upslopey brick, and this is where I'm going to use my 2 little narrow ones instead of the wide one. At this point, you're going to want to go the whole way across this shape just with regular bricks. So that the total shape now is 2x8 across the top. On this level, I'm going to use a 2x6 and a 2x2. And then on the next level, I'm going to use a 2x4 and another 2x4. There we go. And so this is kind of the bottom of your heart shape. You have the pointy bit, and then you have it's filled out, and you're going up the sides. Now we need 2 little rounded bits on top to make the heart shapes. And this is where we use the other slopey pieces that we set aside at the start. And they go like this, back to back, to make 2 little hills. And there you go. You have a heart shape. And like I said, it can be any colour at all. You see, I've used warm colours, reds and things that go with them, because hearts are usually red. But you could just as easily make one that is mainly greens and blues. And then, if you want to put it on top of your chocolate box, there we go. I hope you had fun today designing your chocolates and designing the lid. I wonder what picture you decided to make on yours. Or did you use one of the big hearts as your decoration? And who are you going to give your box of chocolates to? I look forward to seeing you all next week. Happy building!